Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 133 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is really going to answer a lot of questions from The Force Awakens, as well as adding in a ton of new revelations into the mix that's really going to change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films. Now, this movie is said to take a lot of risks by J.J. Abrams, Chris, and George Lucas, Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever have you, right? This movie has a lot going for itself, and the Star Wars community, they're just really crossing their fingers that this movie really is going to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for as well as one of the set leaks for Episode 9. Now, it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January of this year over at Cardington involved a moment based in the third act of the film, where it said that Mark Hamill was on set with Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, where he portrays Luke Skywalker showing Kylo Ren and Rey the netherworld of the Force. It's explained that one of the scenes that were filmed are said to include a far older version of Anakin Skywalker reuniting with his son Luke in the netherworld, where both Anakin and Luke are said to show Rey and Kylo the Wills, who are godlike beings of the universe and the creators of the galaxy. The Wills are said to be done through practical effects for the scene, and that the Anakin footage is planned to be inserted during this month of September of this year to key in the scene with Mark Hamill. It's said to be a reunion between both Luke and Anakin that also serves as a lesson to Kylo and Rey, showing them the Wills and what they are all capable of doing. The scene was said to have taken 1 week to film in mid-January and involved next-generation CGI that would be implemented during post for the final sequence. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to introduce new aspects to the Star Wars franchise that fans have never seen before on the big screen, which is deeply inspiring. It really is. It shows how ambitious J.J. Abrams really is, and how he's aiming very high with this movie, how he really wants to make this film stand on its own away from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So the other thing that I do want to go over that's really intriguing is, of course, how this serves as a reunion between both Anakin and Luke, father and son, as well as how it serves as a lesson to both sides of the dark and the light, that of course being Rey and Kylo Ren. Now that's what I love about this, is because we do know that Episode 9 is going to feature a lot of emotional moments just like this, that's really going to stick out and is really going to stand out on its own for the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, the other thing about this, the netherworld of the Force and the Wills, and how the Wills are said to be done through practical effects, that actually suggests that they will be done through the use of puppets. Now, we've seen the use of puppets through the creatures and, of course, Yoda and all these different major characters in, of course, the Star Wars sagas, right? Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of different elements added into the mix, and those are by far the two big ones coming our way. The Wills and the netherworld of the Force, as well as evolving the Force Ghosts and what they are capable of doing. So, in this particular moment, it's actually said that Mark Hamill filmed the scene during the month of January, where later on it's said that they're going to key in Anakin Skywalker through Hayden Christensen to portray a far older version of Anakin. Now, we went over this slightly a couple of weeks ago, partially of course, that they would be planning for an older version of Anakin to be used for a specific scene in the netherworld. And now you can see how all the dots are starting to really connect for Episode 9 and what J.J. Abrams is really aiming to do with this movie. So the other piece that I find very intriguing as well is the moment in which it's explained that one of the scenes that were filmed also includes, of course, the Wills. Now, the Wills are said to appear behind both Anakin and Luke as they unveil the Wills to both Rey and Kylo Ren to serve as a lesson, to show them that there is something bigger than the dark and the light side of the Force, and the Force in general. So the Wills, in case you guys are not aware, they are going to be introduced into the current canon in different ways than we have ever seen before in Star Wars film history, or any kind of canon material that exists out there. So the Wills being a part of The Rise of Skywalker not only makes a lot of sense now, it's also a great way to honor George Lucas and his vision for the Star Wars franchise. You know, we do know that George Lucas loves the concept of the Wills. He came up with it himself. In fact, his original version of the sequel trilogy, in case you guys did not know this, his original version of episodes 7, 8, and 9 were going to feature the Wills in each and every single movie and showing that side of the universe and what it would actually look like. And I think that would have been a very interesting side of Star Wars, at least in moderation. So the last thing that I just want to touch on here is, of course, you know, Anakin and Luke having a reunion in episode 9. I feel like that would have been great to do in The Last Jedi while Luke was at least alive on the world of Ahch-To. Or they could have even just added, you know, Anakin into the mix alongside both Yoda and Obi-Wan if they wanted to do something that crazy. They really could have done that if they wanted to. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.